everyone. Welcome to the Inspirational 30. I'm your host, Jim Gardiner. For those of you that are new, maybe checking out the show for the first time, welcome. This is the show where I have the privilege to sit down with some amazing people from all walks of life, authors, entrepreneurs, wellness advocates, athletes, you name it, each with a story to tell that hopefully inspires you to be a better version of yourselves. So today's episode is about adversity and the power of overcoming adversity. My guest is a coach, an athlete, a school teacher who was traveling overseas and found himself waking up in a hospital bed with a doctor staring at him saying that he had to have his leg amputated. It's quite a journey. I think we all know adversity can be overcome, but as this guest will show you, that journey is earned and it's not given. It's my privilege to sit here with Graham Giske. Graham, welcome.
Thank you.
So we finally got together.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's a really neat and cool opportunity to share my story with you.
Well, I mean, it is a great story. And maybe to start off with the viewers, for those of them that are familiar with you, haven't heard about you, you were a pretty formidable athlete when you were younger.
Yeah, I played hockey to grade 10 and then basketball, kind of dual athlete in high school, and then chose basketball around grade 10. And I had a great coach here, Phil Letham at Wellington, and kind of went on to play college basketball. And our best year, we got third in Canada, which was a lot of hard work, and kind of we'd like to do a little bit better, but third was a pretty good accomplishment for us. And I was two-time league all-star. Played for 5 years, so that was a pretty awesome time in my life. I made a lot of great friendships was the main thing, and my friends right now most of them are from basketball. And
so sports was a big kind of focal point of who you are, even now, but even back then. Who you were. Yeah,
for sure. It guided me through my childhood and my teenagers, and even as a young adult, gave me a lot of goals to strive for, and
And then, so you also kind of got into teaching as well?
Yeah.
Right?
So I did my 5 years of MBA at VIU, and then you kind of decide what you're going to do with your life. And my coaches always meant so much to me growing up. So I figured I wanted to stay, giving back to the game that gave me so much. So got in the teaching program and started coaching. I coached VIU 1 year after I graduated as well. And I wanted to be involved in the sport and teach what I got. So.
And so then give us an idea of so obviously your incident, which we'll get into shortly, how did you get from here to China? So what was that about?
I playing sports, you give all yourself to that, right? And I've always had I've always wanted to explore cultures and travel, right in about saying I was 30 years, second year of college, but I know I wanted to finish my basketball, my schooling first. So when I finished my teaching degree, it was hard to get in here right away. So it was a perfect opportunity to go teach while travel, and it was awesome. There was an opportunity in China, and a lot of young teachers go to China. And I went to Beijing first for 3 years, and Shanghai for almost a year. And I got a chance to work and get experience and make some money as well as travel. So it's perfect. It fit my life at that point perfectly.
Good. So, let's kind of get right into it. So what happened?
So I was in Shanghai at this time, and we all drive bikes there. And we all went for dinner. It was a Wednesday evening after work. We went for dinner, and then coming home, I was just stopped at a red light, and then just boom, just started to go, and a guy ran a red light and hit me off my I wasn't going too fast, but he was speeding through the red light or whatever, and hit me on my left leg, and I hit another car and did a handstand thing, and I was pretty lucky that it was just my leg. My head was fine and everything. So I was lying on the road there for maybe about an hour. My friends were all around me. My one buddy put his scarf around my leg and stuff, and waiting for the amp, because we were a little bit in the outskirts too, so it just took forever, and the traffic is so crazy in China. And eventually I went to one hospital and I went to the other, and it took maybe about 2 hours, and then I had to wait for surgery because I just ate. And but then I woke up and then the doctor said I was fine. I had tib fib broken in like 3 different places, but it was all together. And
Yeah.
I'm like, am I going to be okay? And then he's like, yeah. I'm like, what percentage? Because I was thinking, like, can I play sports? Like, he's like, yeah, 90%. You'll be 90%. Like, great. Sense of relief. And then went to bed and woke up saying, see this little green, little vein thingy going up the back of my leg, and it was gangrene. So the doctor was trying to tell me what that is, and saying, we're going to try to save your leg, but you know, our main goal is to save your life. So I was just like, okay, you know, sign paper. And then I woke up like 4 days. I was in ICU for 3 or 4 days, and I woke up and with my amputation.
So, and that was it.
Yeah.
So you are an amputee. Where is the amputation? Is it partial leg? Or
it's about right here, above my
mid thigh?
Yeah, about mid thigh. Yeah.
On your left leg?
Left leg, yeah.
So here you are, thousands of miles from home. You got people that, I'm sure there's got to be some type of language barrier there too as well.
Oh yeah, for
You're
sure.
missing one of your legs. Well, I mean, what's going through your mind at this point?
I mean, I was just trying to, you know, conceptualize what happened and how did this even happen, and realize, like, I didn't even see anyone hit me, right? So it's just all so confusing. And then I got people coming in saying it was a hit and run, and the guy was drinking, and in China there's no one like at the door, like people can just come in, and it became like kind of a big story in the community there. So like it was weird. And yeah, there's a few doctors that spoke English that can communicate what's going on. So it was like few and far in between of telling me what's happening, right? I got another infection while I was in the hospital. So I had like a vacuum going in my leg, sucking out the bad stuff. And like I wasn't all the way sewed up yet, and it was just super painful. Like I can tell you really gruesome stories about it. But one time, this is about maybe halfway through, I was there in the hospital for a month.
A month?
Yeah, a month. And then my family came, and I had great support from my school, and some translators from my school and stuff. And the insurance companies was coming in because I had an insurance claim. Yeah, it was pretty wild in there. But one time, some guys came in and just kind of took me. I didn't really know what was going on. And they didn't speak English. And then I remember one doctor saying, at some point, you might be going to an oxygen chamber to help the healing and stuff, right? But I didn't know when or which day. And then these guys just took me outside and threw me into this ambulance. And they drove me about half an hour and to like almost like a kind of a barn-ish. Like it didn't look like a hospital.
Movie.
Yeah, it was surreal. And then they kind of put me into this oxygen chamber for an hour, and I had to pee so bad, and I couldn't communicate to anybody. But it was kind of neat being in there. It looked like it was like from the 70s too. It was
weird.
I don't think it helped anything, but it was only one time. So that was the kind of thing in the hospital. It's just you don't really. I wonder what it would be like here, you know. But the care was, I felt like it was pretty high quality. Yeah.
I mean that's great. And so, I mean I think, you know, obviously there's a phase. You're dealing with this. I can't even imagine your mental state of dealing with this. Yeah. You know, you're about to come home, but I do want to touch on kind of what they do in China, because I think this is a true testament to your character. So for our viewers, I guess in China, the perpetrator or the offender will go to jail unless they get an apology. They accept the apology or something, or how does that work?
It's like I think it's kind of situational, and it might depend like how the status of the person who hit me. I think
Sure.
so. What it was explained to me, if I didn't accept his apology, he would have gone to jail. And he was a young kid. He was like 21, 22, and then it would have gone. He would have gone to court, and I think he would have gone to jail. So I don't think he went to jail, and yeah.
But you must have. I mean, look. Let's be honest. Let's talk. You know, I mean, you must have been pissed off at some point. I mean, you must have gone through the gamut of emotions, right?
And I still am. But you know, like you hear stories growing up about people making those mistakes and everything. It sucks it happened to me. But he actually wanted to come personally and apologize. Like this was like 6 days after I woke up. And I said, no, I don't need that. His lawyer came in and asked and stuff. And it might have been something to do with the court case or the settlement thing going on. So I was like, no, don't, but here's my, like, I officially apologize, but I don't need to actually see the guy. But I honestly, I think if, a young kid made a mistake or whatever.
You know what, I just said it a moment ago, but I think it's a true test to your character, man, that, you accepted the apology. I mean, it's life-changing, but good on you. Anyway, so here you are. Now you have to come home.
Yeah.
And what was that like? I mean, kind of give us an overview of here comes an athlete returning home who, for all intents and purposes, isn't the same person anymore, right?
I was just so super eager and pumped to get home. I was in a bed like for a month pretty much, and just starting to get on crutches the last little bit. But I was watching all these videos of athletes, para-athletes, getting all these motivational videos from my friends who would send me clips and everything, and TED Talks and everything. And so I was just like really eager to get going and get on the process, and so happy to be home. Like right when I got home, I was for a while I was just on my crutches, right? And I would go to my friend's house on my crutches. We'd go out for a beer on my crutches, and I would never do that now. So it just shows you my state of mind. I was just happy to be with my friends and my family who's been so supportive. And it was surreal, like coming home, because all my friends had a couple of fundraisers, and it was like so much attention was given to me. So it was,
How long after you got home did you get your first prosthetic?
So right when I got home, I started, interview prosthetists, which is kind of a weird process, because you're like, oh, I think I'm gonna go to the next guy,
Really? So you actually interview them?
Yeah, that's how I told you, because you become pretty close. And my James Little, who I'm with now, is awesome, younger guy, and like into the same goals as I am. Yeah. So we hit it off, and then you start the process. He just tells you what to do, and you get fitted, and you get put on like a loaner beginner leg, and you rehab. You learn how to walk. You start on the bars and everything. And I went to the Nanaimo Regional Hospital Monday, Wednesday, Friday to rehab, and then usually I was with James the whole week fitting. And you don't start wearing it all right away. It's like a process. Mm-hmm. And I was on that loaner leg for quite a while, and then you start loaner leg.
So call it?
It's honestly, it's like the process is like finding a car, right? And then you try different legs, and the companies will, okay, this guy's he's got an insurance claim, or he's got the funds to buy, so they give you a leg for 2 weeks, and you try it out. And it's like, okay, I think I'll try the next one, and I tried about 4 different legs until I decided.
So are there different levels? In other words, you could get your standard leg, and then if you wanted to kick in more money, you could get a better model or version. Is that how it works? For sure.
So the one I started on was probably a 1970s Chevy, and this one's probably like a nice Toyota. Okay. The top one's like a Porsche, and that's the difference. Is like if you drive those different cars, they feel totally different, right? You can see the difference. Same thing for the prosthetic. Same thing with the legs. There's way more features. The top one, you can maybe run a little bit. It's fully waterproof. You can go up. You can go upstairs normally. There's like way more functions and everything. So interesting. Like this one is like probably the middle of the pack and has a computer component to it, and the technology is pretty amazing right now. Like if this was going to happen to me, right now is probably like one of the more exciting times for technology and for amputees and prosthetists to try and everything.
Good, good. So, so you came home. Obviously, you had great support from your friends and your family and the community. Yeah. Amazing. When did the dust kind of settle, and you start saying, okay, this is my next phase in life, right? Because I know you did some wheelchair basketball, which I want to talk about as well. So maybe kind of like, what was the impetus? I know your friends sent you some videos and motivational stuff, but what was it? Well,
I mean, sports is my number one motivator. This might be okay. And a couple, like when my friend Matt Kosminski, who coaches VIU, he texts me, he's like, well, at least the athlete pool is going to be a lot smaller for you now. So that's the kind of friends I have, right? But then I was like, yeah, and it's right. So I was, emailing people, people right away, like, how do I get involved in this community? And it's kind of hard at first because you don't know where to go. But once your name's out there, like people come to you to like they want you to all try their sport and stuff. And that's what kind of got me through the first little bit. Was I went right to wheelchair basketball and played a lot for a year. And it's because you're limited to your equipment almost, right? So I got into wheelchair basketball, and it's been great. The community's like really welcoming, and yeah.
Good. And so, did you pursue that at all?
Yeah, pursued it. And Simon Cass was my coach. I started off playing like more grassroots, went to camps, improve your skills, and then like I was kind of a unique story because I don't think there's that many amputees in wheelchair basketball, and I had like a pretty good skill set from stand-up basketball, so I was just learning all the chair skills, which is a lot, and the game is totally different. But yeah, I went for it, and I went to a camp in Toronto, and we played with the national team there, but I kind of decided after it would have been all my time to be committed to play at that level, and I just kind of wanted to pursue my education, my work goals, and my stand-up coaching basketball. And I would get a little frustrated in the chair. I like standing up. I like the stand-up game, and I want to focus on running and getting a blade and being kind of more active that way. And I still like to play wheelchair basketball, but I kind of want to maybe keep it at the grassroots level and provincial level, not a national level.
So even though you had kind of come to terms with something, at least to that point, there's still those days where like you just didn't want to be in the chair playing basketball.
Yeah.
And it didn't matter even if you were successful, just something that it was hard for you to fathom, right?
Yeah, and that was hard for me because I kind of was like, I'm good at this. I can actually get to the highest levels, I think, if I put all my focus and effort in it, which I've done before, and it worked out. But I had to kind of reflect and be like, but I'm not really enjoying it. And that was kind of, I decided to focus on my coaching here and the camps I do, and I'm doing my master's in counseling, and that's that's full time. So
right.
So I had to kind of adjust my mindset a little bit.
Well, I think that holds true in any sport, right? I mean, when it's not fun, it's why bother?
Yeah.
Right, it has to be fun.
I have fun at the lower levels with the kids, and but.
Okay, so now you kind of took a step back and said, okay, I'm going to now give something back in terms of coaching.
Yeah.
So did you coach? You coached both stand-up and wheelchair, right?
Yeah, I did So one of my goals was before my accident is we were doing like free camps for kind of low-income families and stuff. So when I was able the first summer I couldn't do it. The second summer, so 2 summers ago, we did it with my buddies back in China, and we did it with Pacific Sport, and I brought wheelchair basketball into that camp. So we brought the chairs, and the community, they want people to try, so they just bring the chairs, right? And it's awesome. So I brought chairs into that camp, and then I'm going to bring them into because I teach PE. You bring them into the PE classes just to get awareness out there that it's an able-bodied athlete sport too. Anyone can play it. So so I want to keep wheelchair basketball and kind of not disabled, like adaptive sports. Kind of, I want to give that opportunity to students and to anybody really, while also coaching stand-up basketball is like one of my true original passions. So I know that was my path before my accident, and now I'm just kind of continuing it with a different kind of added a little one to it, right?
Yeah. And so you're coaching now. Where you coach stand-up?
At Wellington.
At Wellington.
Yeah, that's where I went to high school.
Where you learned. So it really is full circle almost, huh?
Oh yeah, it's cool. I'm coaching with one of my best friends, Luke Letham, who his dad coached us, and we're running the same offense and everything. So it's pretty neat. It's pretty cool.
Good. And then obviously you're also a teacher.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
So you're a school teacher.
Yep.
Good. And so, so how curious as to what's response with students? You teach younger students, correct?
It's all over. Right now I'm at high school, but last year I was younger students. And the responses are all over the place too.
Yeah, right.
So I like to get it out there right away. So
just break the ice?
Break the ice with it, tell my story.
Just take it off and be like...
Sometimes I flip it up a little bit. Like I can do little party tricks, and they think it's kind of wild. But the little kids, the response is it's almost a distraction almost. They ask a million questions, like, what happened to your old leg? And it's like, well, it's in the garbage or something, you know. But yeah, they just want to touch it, they want to see it. And then the teenagers are kind of like, it takes them a while. They're kind of like, okay. And then once they get to know me a little bit more, some of them will kind of like, so what happened again? And they'll ask me a couple questions. So, which is, you know, everyone kind of reacts a little different. Like, so if I'm wearing my shorts in the elevator, some people think it's just super neat and cool, and some people just, you know, are kind of awkward about it. So, you know, and that's been, you know, and that sometimes still an adjustment for me, like the whole body image thing and everything. But yeah.
Well, I mean, obviously, this has kind of led you up to us sitting here. Let's talk a little bit about what do you see for yourself in the future? Like, what are your goals? I know you're going counseling, right? I know you have some athletic ambitions I want to discuss. So what, you know, where are we at? What's up for you in the next couple of years?
You know, right now, I'm really focusing on trying to get a running blade, which is kind of, usually you have to wait, I think 2 years anyways, 2 to 3 years, because your limb is in a state of atrophy, right? So it needs to be pretty stable before you can start running, otherwise it's just gonna maybe fly off.
Okay.
So I've been patiently waiting to try to get a running blade, and then once I get that, I'm off and training. I'm running, and I'm gonna go for some like half marathons, 5Ks, and then eventually, you know, I joined the track club last year, and I tried discus and javelin and stuff. And once I get my running blade, I'll go back there and start training, and like I'll go as far as I can go. I'll give it all I can with my, you know, my work ethic and everything, and see how far I can take it. Like world championships, like I'll see what I'm good at, and then continue. And you know, there's the great thing where we live is there's so much opportunity and coaching here for para sports. Like Canada's committed to giving all athletes the opportunity, and Michelle Stillwell, I know you talked to, has been an inspiration to me, and she's reached out to me numerous times with coaches, and she wrote a letter of support to try to get a grant for my leg, for running leg. I think it'd be a small grant, but if I get it, I'm up.
Well, I think, you know, it's important. We're sitting here talking about this man's dreams, and, you know, a blade is just a mere $25,000, give or take, right?
Yeah.
So it's not like I just want to go out and buy one. I mean, this is a big thing, and so, you know, I personally, I would love to discuss with you maybe some ways to kind of do something to see what we could do to make that happen. I think that would be phenomenal for you. I think, not only for yourself, but I mean, to continue your inspiration that you're putting on, you know, everyone else. I think that's amazing.
Yeah, I just can't wait to get it, and it's lifelong cost. Like this leg might last me. The warranty is 6 years, so hopefully it lasts me 20. But the warranty is only 6 years, and I've used 2 of those. So
it's kind of better than a car, though. So it gives you
a better warranty than a car, yeah, for sure.
Listen, man, we're running close to signing off here, but obviously, life-changing event for you. What can you kind of sum it up? You know, how has this experience changed your life? Maybe shown you something about the human spirit?
Well, I mean, I understand how much I've grown from it, and it's been a vehicle of growth. And one of the videos I was talking about in the hospital was a TED Talk, and it was called Opportunity Through Adversity. Like, adversity has given me a lot of opportunity. Like, I'm here talking to you, and I get to share my story with more people, and maybe get to inspire people, whatever they're trying to do. And there has been opportunity with my adversity for sure, and I have grown definitely from it. And there's things I definitely miss, mostly, you know, athletics and playing sports. But there's also all these cool new sports and opportunities that I potentially get to try on a high stage too. So, you know, it's just, you know, it's day by day, and you know, you're not focused on the past at all. I'm always thinking about my future, and
I'm sure that's not easy.
You definitely have to. It's like, especially at the beginning too. It's like I would have, if I thought negatively or got sad, I would just block it and try to think about something I get excited about. Yeah.
Well, listen, thanks for coming on the show. I really appreciate it. You're an inspiration to me, who's an able-bodied athlete, and as well as countless others out there. I think it's just Graham's story is just a great little picture for us of we all have our challenges, and some people can easily just say, oh, he got the bad roll of the dice, bad luck, and but like he just said, it's about you have a chance to overcome something, adversity, and then create a new pathway for yourself, and I think we all have a duty to act on something that we have. That is our duty in life, to provide whatever that may be. Inspiration, being a role model, being a parent, whatever. A couple episodes ago we talked about, with a guest, we talked about everyone has a brand. He or she is a certain brand. Well, I think that holds true here, and Graham's, that unfortunate accident has kind of re-honed his brand, which is going to, I think, make people better, from the kids, fellow athletes, people like myself. I want to say in closing, if anybody would be interested in helping me maybe come up with some out-of-the-box ways to help this man get a blade and pursue an athletic career, I think we should, feel free to reach out to me and let's see what we can do, create some magic. I want to thank you at home for watching. It's been my privilege to sit here with you, Graham.
Thank you.
All right. And we'll see you next time on the Inspirational 30.